Check, check, check.
They don't wanna see me make it, they don't wanna see me care. Anytime I make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better
And now, Mike's thoughts.
You guys know what? I love a good trash talk section. I love trash talk as much as the next person. I live for the banter. I love the back and forth. I love the little digs that make competition fun. That's the whole point of trash talk. It's supposed to be about the game, the team, the plays, and the passion you've got for sports. That's all fun. That's all games. That's the spark that keeps these groups alive. Our Facebook groups, I might add. But the second you start crossing the line, the moment you stop talking about football and start talking about somebody's kids, somebody's wife, or their personal life, you have lost the whole point. That's not trash talk. That's pathetic. That's childish. And it screams insecurity more than it does smack talk. You think you're clever because you brought somebody's family into it? Newsflash, that's not clever. That's lazy. Anybody can type out an insult about somebody's personal life, but it takes a real wit and passion to keep it about the game, to break down why their quarterback stinks, why their defense couldn't stop a nosebleed, or why their team has been irrelevant for a decade. That's trash talk. That's fun. That's what gets people fired up. But dragging families into it, nah, that's crossing the line. Nobody signed up to have their kids, wives, or their lives put under fire just because you wanted to talk some football. So if that's your move, congratulations. You just told the whole group you don't actually know about football. You can hang onto the real debates. You got nothing left but personal spots. So here's the deal. It's about it's about the sports. Keep it about the team. Keep it about the game. We all love. Bring the heat, bring the energy, and bring the passion. But leave the personal garbage at the door. Because once you go there, you're not a trash talk anymore. You are trash. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw, steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off, get it hype. This man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman, everybody bringing heat. You don't really wanna try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation, guys? And welcome to Man Hour NFL Talk, your go-to spot for live, raw, uncut NFL talk. And I'm so glad you're rolling up with us today. Before we jump in today's show, guys, I want you guys to head over to manhourradio.com. That's where you can find the exclusive merchandise, check out the latest blogs, and everything that's happening with the Man Hour show. So if you're rocking the Man Hour, guys, that is a spot to do it. But make sure you hit the like button, guys. Hit the share button and to subscribe to the channel as well to make sure you never miss a live, interactive show every Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. That's the easiest way to stay plugged in with us. But if you want the full Man Hour experience, guys, become a Pigskin Pundit. That is our members-only community. You get free entry into the weekly NFL pick'ems, giveaways, exclusive merch, and bonus live stream that only the Pigskin Pundits get. So if you want that next level access, join the squad. Now, remember, this is a live, interactive show. Drop your thoughts, opinions, and hottest of the takes down below in the comments. I want to hear from you. Before we get too carried away in the show, guys, we got to welcome the man, the myth, the legend. We got to welcome Mr. Alpha Rob in the chat. What is up, Alpha Rob? Hope you're having a good old day, man. Hope you're having a good old day. And he says, Josh effing Allen, baby. Josh effing Allen. Listen, Alpha Rob, all praise goes out to Josh Allen right now. We are not worthy to experience what we experienced last night. Did you guys know? Did you know last night in the fourth quarter alone, not the first quarter to the fourth quarter, strictly just the fourth quarter, Josh Allen had more passing yards than 21 other quarterbacks the whole game. Just in the fourth quarter. Guys, Josh Allen is the league MVP. Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL. Josh Allen is the man, the myth, the legend. If you want to talk shade about Josh Allen, you do not love football. You do not understand football. Josh Allen is that guy. Josh Allen is that damn good. Represent, baby, represent. But, guys, we do got an action-packed show for you today, so let's go ahead and start off there. Start off right at the top, and let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Buffalo Bills last night. And, guys, Sunday Night Football gave us an all-time classic in Week 1. Guys, the Buffalo Bills came back from a 15-point deficit in the final quarter to beat the Baltimore Ravens 41-40. Josh Allen once again put the league on notice with the performance of for the ages, while the Ravens fell into the same trap that has haunted them for years. Guys, the Ravens had this game in their hands. Derrick Henry was unstoppable. Lamar Jackson was efficient. The defense looked good at times, but it just wasn't doing enough. And then, in the fourth quarter, it all unraveled. Josh Allen threw for 251 yards in that quarter alone, the most he's had in a single quarter, and he's become the fastest player since at least 1978 to throw 250 yards and rush for 2 touchdowns in the same frame. Guys, that is history, folks. That is a game for the ages. But why did the Ravens not have Derrick Henry back on the field for the last 3 minutes of the game? That is the question that has haunted the Baltimore Ravens for the last 2 seasons. Why is Derrick Henry not on the field the last 3 or 4 minutes of every game getting the ball? Guys, that is the question that everybody is asking right now. Derrick Henry was by far the best player on the field for Baltimore last night. He rushed for 169 yards on just 18 carries. That is an insane 9.4 yards per carry. He had 3 explosive, huge runs, 2 touchdowns, and he was clearly wearing down the Buffalo Bills defense. But then came the fumble with just about 3 or 4 minutes left in the game. Ed Oliver ripped it out, and the Bills turned it into points. That hurts, no question about it. But instead of going back to their workhorse, John Harbaugh and the Ravens benched Derrick Henry. He never saw the field again. I get the thinking, right? I understand. Protect the ball. Don't risk another turnover. But that's not why you brought Derrick Henry into Baltimore. You traded for him to close out games exactly like this one. He's been a closer his whole career. Sitting him in crunch time is like killing their offense. But it also showed the Buffalo Bills that the Baltimore lost confidence in their best player. After that fumble, guys, the Ravens had 2 possessions. They punted both times. Without Derrick Henry, they had no identity, no threat. And the results, they lost a game that they should have won. Understand that. They lost the game that they should have won. Matter of fact, I tweeted out, Josh Allen threw that interception, which got overturned to not be an interception. It was 40-25 at that particular point. I'm like, well, this is done. This game's over. Guys, when will the Ravens learn how to close out games? When will the Baltimore Ravens finally learn how to seal the deal? When will the Baltimore Ravens finally ever put that final nail in the coffin? Because the last 2 seasons, the last 3 or 4 seasons, they have not been able to do that. And yet again, last night, they repeated it. So, guys, let me ask this question to you guys. Should have Derrick Henry been benched or trusted to finish the game? That is the question. Do you trust Derrick Henry to close out the game? Or are you going to bench him because he fumbled for the last 4 minutes? Guys, you brought Derrick Henry for a reason. Let him finish. Alpha Rob says Henry was probably gassed from all that running. Gassed or not, he only had 18 carries. Gassed or not, Derrick Henry is King Henry for a reason. Derrick Henry, let's just be honest, was running all over that Buffalo Bills defense. Yes, they had a couple big stops. Joey Bosa had a couple big stops, right? Ed Oliver, obviously with the punch out, had a big stop. But you give Derrick Henry the ball in between the tackles. Let him run. Let him run. Make the Buffalo Bills use their timeouts. Rear out that clock. Let them know. Because the Buffalo Bills were done. They were chasing points. They were chasing the two-point conversions. Couldn't get it. Chasing another two-point conversion. Couldn't get it. Hell, did they end up going 3 of them? I don't know. I don't care how gassed Derrick Henry is. You have Hill back there. You have Lamar Jackson. And you have Derrick Henry. But what do you choose? You decide to pass the ball. You decide to pass the ball. Incomplete pass. Stop the clock. Give the Buffalo Bills a chance. Turn it over. Punt the ball all the way. Like, come on. And Old Man River says, hell yes, Derrick Henry should have gotten the ball. That's a facts, brother. That is a facts. But the Baltimore Ravens, they can be up with 30 points with 2 minutes left to go, and I'm going to pick the opposing team every time. Because Coach Harbaugh, Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens don't know how to close it out. I don't know if it's poor coaching. I don't know if it's offensive coordinator coaching. I mean, obviously it's poor coaching. But I don't know if it's Harbaugh or the OC or somebody else is like in his ear. Do they have like a 2-minute coach? I don't know. Either way, the Baltimore Ravens can't close it out. Up 15 points with 4 minutes left. 3-score game. And you lose. Jay's Frakes in the chat says, what up, y'all? It's in their DNA, Buck. Remember where the Ravens come from. You absolutely trusted Derrick Henry. He's King Henry. The only running back I'll take over him is the one and only Saquon Barkley or a prime Nick Chubb. Right there's the writing on the wall. James is a Cleveland Browns fan. James knows about closing out games. But yet the Baltimore Ravens just can't do it. Guys, why cannot the Baltimore Ravens close out games? Seriously, why can't they do it? Matter of fact, I posted a meme last night. There were 6 or 7 games when they had a 2-score lead in the fourth quarter and they lost the game. Just the last 2 seasons. Just the last 2 seasons alone. Wrap your heads around that. Wrap your heads. So the next question that I have for you Baltimore Ravens fans or NFL fans in general, will the Ravens ever learn how to close out the fourth quarter? Guys, this one is just not a one-off. It has been a trend. Since 2019, the Ravens have lost 5 games when leading by 10 points or more in the fourth quarter. That's tied with the Chicago Bears for the most in the NFL over that span. For a franchise that prides itself on toughness and discipline, this is unacceptable. Sunday night was another perfect example. Up 40-25 under the 8 minutes left. Baltimore was in control. Henry was running wild. Lamar Jackson was making plays, and the defense already forced multiple stops, and yet 0 points in their last 3 drives. And the defense gave up 3 straight scoring possessions. Guys, this is why the people will never trust the Baltimore Ravens in January. It doesn't matter how dominant you look for 3 quarters. It's about if you run through the regular season. It's if you can finish games in the fourth quarter, then you will not win a championship. Guys, Lamar Jackson has taken some heat here too. He's played well early, but when Allen caught fire, Lamar couldn't match him late. Let's just be honest. And it's becoming a theme. The Ravens look unstoppable early, but when it comes to finish, they freeze. Freeze. Tag. You're it. Guys, I got dogged when I said the Baltimore Ravens were probably going to be a one and done this NFL season. I got dogged when I did not put the Baltimore Ravens in my top 10 NFL rankings for week 1. This is exactly why. The Baltimore Ravens are acting like they got a defense from the early 2000s still. The defense is their weak point in Baltimore now. If you play like this versus a team in January whether it's the Chiefs, whether it's the Buffalo Bills again, hell, whether it's the Houston Texans, Baltimore, Pittsburgh Steelers, whoever they play in the playoffs, people are going to start calling Lamar Jackson a what if. They're going to be screaming for Harbaugh to get out, learn how to close the games. Guys, let me ask you this question. Is it a coaching issue in Baltimore that they cannot close out the games? Is it a Lamar Jackson issue? Or is it just straight bad luck? I want to know your thoughts. Let me know down in the like in the comment. Coaching issue, Lamar problem, or just bad luck? I'm going to have to say it's coaching. Lamar Jackson doesn't help. Can't complete those intermediate passes. Tuck it and run, bro. That is what you do. But coaching is a big thing as well, right? Coaching is a big thing as well. Alpha Rob says, because they were showboating up when they was up big. They were showboating. They were showboating. They were living on cloud nine, baby. Ooh, everything's loosey-goosey. Let me go ahead and take off the tape of my wrist. Let me go start taking my eye black off. Oh. Josh Allen just threw that 60-yard strike to Keenan Coleman again. Whatever, it is what it is. We're still up 15. Let me go ahead and get a little back rub here. Oh, Derrick Henry just fumbled the ball? Whatever. Our defense is great. No, your defense isn't great. The defense is the weak point of your team now. Understand that. Yeah, they were definitely 100% showboating. James says, I don't know, man. It is crazy, says James. They looked like a whole complete team up until the end of the game. Complete craziness. James, obviously, guys, I coach high school football, right? And momentum is huge in all sports, but especially in like high school, right? You get a little bit of spark coming out of the halftime or a turnover, just a little bit of spark. It is crazy how much that momentum can change one way or the other, just at the high school level. But then last night, we saw it at the NFL level at an extreme. Let's be honest. Everybody was ready for bed. The Ravens were giving the ball off to Derrick Henry. He was getting 4, 5, 6 yards at a time. It was like 4 minutes and 30 some odd seconds left. And pretty much all the Ravens had to do was get one first down, run the 4 minutes off us. They were coming out scotch clean. Ed Oliver came up and punched that ball out. It literally changed everything. You saw the Ravens' heads drop. You saw Josh Allen pump out his chest. Like, it was complete night and day. James, you are 100% correct. It was a complete shift of the entire Baltimore Ravens. And that is tough. That is tough. Alpha Rob says they brag about having secondary full of first round picks. You know what? Not all first round picks pan out, brother. Not all first round picks are the bee's knees. Not all first round picks are the Taj pajamas or whatever the hell. Whatever. You shouldn't have that many first round picks in the secondary, right? I'm just saying. At some point, some people got to start to flourish a little bit. The Ravens defense is highly overrated. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. The Ravens defense is highly overrated. Much like the Detroit Lions defense is. Many people think the Ravens defense is so great because the offense is playing from ahead from so often, right? The offense jumps out so early that the defense can kind of pin their ears back and just go. Guys, the Ravens have one of the worst front sevens in the NFL. Let's call a spade a spade. They're just not that good. James says, all I'm hearing is my Browns have a chance this week. James, your Browns are not that bad, brother. I got to sit down and watch their game full to full, head to head, toe to toe, and I loved it. And James says it's 100% coaching issue in Baltimore. It's 100% coaching issue. And I agree, James. Coaching is an issue in Baltimore. They're coaching like they got a 2000 Ravens defense out there, and they don't. They don't. Later up here on buy or sell, we're going to ask, should they have gone for that fourth down? Should they have gone for the fourth down? Bears are up 7-3. Yes, the Bears are looking pretty good. Now for Rob says, I love Derrick Henry's face after that fumble. It was total shock. Like, what just happened with my life right now? That is what was going on. It's like, what had just happened with my life right now? That was his face. But on the other side of the other guys, you had Josh freaking Allen, baby. And I'm not going to say this lightly. Guys, Josh Allen is the best player in football right now. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. All you Lamar Jackson fans, all you Patrick Mahomes fans, all whoever, Justin Jefferson, whoever else. Guys, Josh Allen is the best football player in the NFL right now. Look what he did. He completed 33 of 46 passes for 394 yards and 2 touchdowns. On top of that, he added 30 rushing yards with 2 more rushing scores. That's 4 total touchdowns and over 400 in total offense just by himself. Then you look at the fourth quarter alone. He threw for 251 yards. His most ever single in a quarter. He was averaging 12 yards per attempt in that frame after just 5.7 through the first 3 quarters. He became the first player since at least 1978 to have 250 passing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns in 1 quarter. That's just not elite, guys. That is unprecedented. That is the best player in football right now. And here's a kicker. Since 2022, Josh Allen has now led 11 game-winning drives. Only the one and only Patrick Mahomes has more, which at 18, and Geno Smith has more at 12. That's the company he's keeping. Every time you count Josh Allen out, he pulls something off just like what he did last night. Guys, let's just be honest. The Buffalo Bills were left for dead. Down 15 points. Fans were leaving the stadium, and Josh Allen refused to quit. He put his team on his back, and he made history. That's what great players do. And right now, you cannot argue that Josh Allen is not the best player in the NFL. So, guys, is Josh Allen the best player in the NFL? Or are you taking somebody else? Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley, Patrick Mahomes. I want to hear from you down in the comments. Is Josh Allen the true MVP? Is Josh Allen the best player in the NFL? If any answer than yes comes out of somebody's mouth, I'm calling you a homer. I am a Chiefs fan. Josh Allen right now is better than Patrick Mahomes. Now, I would take Patrick Mahomes the last 1 minute of any game in the NFL. Do not get that twisted. But overall, give me Josh Allen, baby. Josh Allen puts on that Superman cape. He says, hold my beer and let me flap out this 12-inch dong. That is what he does. James Frank says, Allen is the best quarterback in the league. No, James. Not only the best quarterback, he's the best player in the league. He's the best player in the entire NFL. Do you remember last June or May or June when they said, what 11 players would you take to make a NFL team? And people were saying like, oh, Tyreek Hill or Chris Jones or this person. No, the correct answer is Josh Allen. If any team had 11 Josh Allens, they would go back to back to back to back Super Bowl champions. And then they would get tired and take a year off. And then they would win back to back to back to back again Super Bowls. 8 Super Bowls in 9 years if he had a team of Josh Allens. That's how good he is. That's how good a player he is. Just not quarterback, but all in all. Alpha Rob says, without a doubt, he is. Guys, without a doubt. 100%. Guys, this is the game that this game was everything we love about football last night. The drama, the history, the heartbreak. The Bills made NFL history with the comeback. And Josh Allen delivered the performance of the ages. Right? For Baltimore, it's the same old story. Brilliant for 3 quarters, collapse in the 4th. Derrick Henry standing on the sideline when the game is needed closing and the kind of decision that haunts the season. But listen for this. But Buffalo is a statement. They can take a punch. They can get knocked down, and they can still come up swinging. And with Josh Allen, they always have a chance. Guys, Josh Allen is the best. Period. No question about it. No question about it. But let's move on to the Detroit Lions taking on the Green Bay Packers. Guys, let's dive into more Week 1 NFL action. And Week 1 gave us a huge NFC North showdown. The Detroit Lions travel to Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers. And folks, Packers made a statement. The Packers made a statement. They knocked off the Detroit Lions 27-13 behind a strong showing from Jordan Love and their new defensive star, Micah Parsons. Guys, this game was circled because the Lions have been the class of the division for the last 2 seasons. And Green Bay wanted to prove they were ready to flip the script. And they just did just that. Guys, and Jordan Love finally showed up. Jordan Love lived in the big moment. Now, Jordan Love had struggles against the Lions before, right? Previous years. Just not very good. Matter of fact, at 2 previous starts at Lambeau, 2 losses, both costly mistakes. But Sunday was different. Jordan Love looked confident. He looked poised. And most importantly, he protected the football. Jordan Love led the Packers to touchdowns on the first two of their 3 drives and a field goal on the other. His first 8 completions went to 8 different receivers. That's distributing the ball like a seasoned vet. He hit Romeo Doubs on the 48-yarder, connected with Jalen Reed for a 17-yard score, and even kept the drive alive on 4th and 1 on a quarterback sneak. Talk about stat lines, right? 19 for 28 for 248 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's a playoff level performance in a divisional game. And then coming off that thumb procedure this offseason, he didn't look limited at all. So guys, let me ask this question. Are you buying Jordan Love MVP run in 2023 or 2025, I should say? And is he ready to lead the Green Bay Packers to the Super Bowl? That's right, Super Bowl, baby. That's tough. James Frank says Green Bay may just take the NFC North. James, at this point, I don't think it's even May. I think the Green Bay Packers are going to take the NFC North. The Green Bay Packers were already a loaded team without Micah Parsons. We're going to get more into Micah Parsons in like a little bit here, right? But the Green Bay Packers were already a loaded team without Micah Parsons. They add Micah Parsons, and by the bing, bada boom, they become an instantly Super Bowl caliber team. For the last 2, if not 3 seasons, the Green Bay Packers have had all the talent in the world. But they kept, we're so young. We're still growing. We're so young. We're still growing. We're still young. We're still growing. They're still the youngest team in the NFL. But none of that matters anymore. It's time to shut up or put up. Guys, Jordan Love is perfect for the Green Bay Packers. If he takes care of the ball, he has the big arm, and he can distribute. But all this MVP talk needs to slow it down. You need to slow it down, baby, on the MVP talk. Because there are other MVPs in the NFL. Josh Allen's one of them. So as we might be sleeping on Jordan Love just a little bit, let's see what he can do week 2. Let's see what he can do week 3. 16, 17, 18. Big playoff game. Then we might be buying into a little Jordan Love. And James Frank says, no, I'm not buying Jordan Love MVP. This is Baker Mayfield's MVP year. Ooh, baby, slow it down. Baker Mayfield is pretty damn good. Baker Mayfield is pretty damn good. But let's just be honest. Right now, it's Josh Allen's to lose. Alpha Rob says, you need to slow down, Buck. Alpha Rob says, Buck, you need to slow this shit down. You need to take this car into overdrive, take it out, shift it down to the 4th, maybe even 3rd. Because we're coming into town. We're slowing down to 30 mile an hour, and we're going to open our eyes and realize that Jordan Love is not going to win the MVP this season. And Alpha Rob, I agree with you 100%. Jordan Love might have a spectacular season. Jordan Love might throw for 4,000 yards. Might lead the Packers to the NFC North. But we need to slow it down, baby. Stay with Old Man River. He says, whoa, 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 whoa. He says, don't be sleeping on Geno Smith over here. Geno Smith is winning the MVP, says old Man River. No Jordan Love. No Jordan Love. And Will Olson says, slow it down. It's only week 1. The Lions will still win the division. As you are correct to an extent, Will. Right? What is so great about week 1 is nobody really truly knows what your team are. Week 1, you could be the worst team in the entire NFL, a.k.a. the Carolina Panthers. But the biggest growth of every team is from week 1 to week 2. That is when you really define who your team is from week 1 to week 2, bada bing, bada boom. Then we'll see what the real potential of said team is. Right? We got the first game jitters out. We got the I'm tired of hitting each other out, right? Now we can buckle down and say, hey, Hutch, you sucked. Let's just be honest. Aiden Hutchinson sucked on Sunday. It is what it is. Hey, Hutch, maybe you're not quite ready to come back yet. Let's dial back a little bit, right? Micah Parsons, hey, you are 100%, man. Get out there and get more than what, 20, 30, I think you had like 13 snaps, right? The 13 snaps or 23 shots? I can't remember. Very, very few snaps, right? Jordan Love, hey, you're pushing the ball down the field pretty well. Hey, let's start pushing the ball down some more, right? Week 2 is when you really find out who your team is. Was it all just first week jitters against your old team, or playing a team and the other team just didn't play well and you played out of your mind? Week 2, the everything starts to balance back out. Will, you are right. Old member says, Viva Las Vegas, baby. Viva Las Vegas. But speaking of week 1, Detroit Lions. Guys, let's flip it. The Lions offense looked nothing like the unit that we've seen under Ben Johnson the last 2 seasons. In John Morton's debut as offensive coordinator, guys, the Detroit Lions looked out of sync, predictable, and flat. They reached the red zone 3 times. 3 times, 1, 2, 3, in the first 35 minutes, and they only came away with 2 field goals and an interception. That's not going to cut it. Jared Goff hit 1 deep ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown early, but after that, he didn't attempt another throw for 20-plus yards until late in the 4th quarter. And when they're already down 3 scores, everything was short, safe, and frankly easy for the Green Bay Packers defense to sit on. Jamar Gibbs had just 50 yards on 19 touches, and no one else provided spark outside rookie Isaiah Tesla, am I saying that right name? Highlight reel with 110 touch grab. If you guys did not see that catch, go back to YouTube and watch it. It's freaking amazing. This was a tame, uninspired performance from a team who was built to win now. Guys, the Lions looked out of sync. They looked lost. They looked like Ricky Bobby when he won his first race. I don't know what to do with my hands. Guys, but let me ask you this question. Is it just growing pains with a new play caller, or are the Lions in trouble offensively? Now, back on my way too early 2025 NFL predictions back in May, early June, I said this very thing about the Detroit Lions. I said the first 3 or 4 games, they are going to look nothing like they will in week 16, 17, and 18. They are going to go through this rebuild phase, and it's going to piss off a lot of Detroit Lions fans. It's going to spark a lot of NFC North fans saying, oh, the Lions are done. Same old Lions, back to same old, same old. Which I hate to say I told you so, but at the same time, I thought the Detroit Lions were going to be a little bit more inspired, just a little bit, right? Now, to be fair, if you have not watched Letterkenny, you should. I highly suggest it. Letterkenny. Up on Hulu. Guys, the Detroit Lions have no way to go up. They're going to go down this season. Being 15-2 last season, you're going to go down. People are going to be upset with you. Oh, you won 113 games. Stop it. But guys, this is the worst I've seen the Detroit Lions in the last, 4 or 5 seasons. Ever since Dan Campbell has become head coach This is the worst they have seen. And obviously, the Ben Johnson effect is real. Look what Chicago's doing right now. Caleb Williams looks like a top 10 quarterback for I just saw the first quarter. I got the game on pause. It's 7-3 still. Second quarter just started. But Caleb Williams looks like a totally different quarterback from last season, all because of Ben Johnson. And Alpha Rob says the best. Jared Goff looked bad. Jared Goff looked bad because you cannot push the ball down the field and expect the Packers to not want to just bring everybody in the box. Guys, go back and watch the tape. Turn off the sound. Watch the NFL 22 cameras. Watch the tape. The Green Bay corners are pressing all game long. The safeties are about 12 yards deep tops. They have 8-9 guys in the box nearly every time. The Green Bay Packers have a pretty good defense as is. But then you add to the top that their Lions aren't even pushing the ball down the field or even threatening to push the ball down the field. That is tough. That's tough for any quarterback. And James Franks says, I think they may be in trouble. Ooh, new groin pains. Trust in Dan Campbell, though. James, I don't trust Dan Campbell at all. Because before Ben Johnson got there, the Detroit Lions offense was average, right? They were mediocre at best. Yes, they were changing the culture. Yes, they were bringing in players, right? Yada, yada, yada. But Ben Johnson completely turned around the Detroit Lions. Let's just be honest. Offensively, completely turned them around. We spoke on this last week. The reason why the Detroit Lions defense was so dominant last season, because everybody feared their offense. When you're only pushing the ball 10 yards down the field tops, nobody's going to fear that offense. The defense is going to struggle a little bit more because they're not going to be pressing as much. Guys, I think this Dan Campbell effect is done in Detroit. I think they're going to miss Ben Johnson more than they think. And they're going to be in for a rough season. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be losing team by any stretch of the imagination. They still got a Super Bowl quarterback. Jared Goff led the Rams to the Super Bowl. You guys forget about that? They still have a pretty good offense. Amara, pretty good. Jameis Williams, pretty good. Sonic and Knuckles are still both pretty good. Offensive line is still pretty damn good. Even with the vanilla offense, I still think they're going to muster 17, 18 points a game. It is what it is. They're still going to be a 9, 10 win team. Are they going to be a Super Bowl team? Probably not. Alpha Rob says the team's caught up with the Lions offense. They did. Well, no. Well, yeah. I would definitely say the Lions took a couple steps back by letting Ben Johnson. I mean, they obviously didn't let Ben Johnson go. He went on to a job promotion, right? But losing Ben Johnson definitely sucks. It hurts. It hurts a lot. And unfortunately, they're going to have a lot of growing pains. But on the flip side of that, this game, the Green Bay Packers taking on the Detroit Lions, gave us a battle between the two of the NFL's most premier defensive stars. Micah freaking Parsons making his Green Bay Packers debut, and Aiden Hutchins back from last year's horrific leg injury. Guys, but neither of them made a tackle to the late fourth quarter. Micah Parsons obviously stole the show. He played 29 snaps, generated 3 pressures, and forced Jared Goff into an interception and pressing on Penei Sewell, and capped it off in a chase down sack and had Lambeau rocking. Hutchinson, meanwhile, played nearly every snap but couldn't consistently impact the game. Even with Green Bay losing right tackle Zach Tom to an injury, he still only had 1 hit on Jordan Love. But overall, Parsons looked like the bigger difference maker. Guys, if Micah Parsons is only at 80% right now, imagine what he can do fully healthy with the Green Bay Packers. He has the potential to elevate this Packers defense this season to another level. So let me ask you guys this question. Hypothetically speaking, who would you rather build around right now? Aiden Hutchinson or Micah Parsons? You had a chance to build a defense around one of those two players. Any team you want. Who would you pick? Honestly, guys, Me personally, I'm picking Aiden Hutchinson 9 times out of 10 and twice on Sunday. Guys, Aiden Hutchinson is far superior than Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons has a back strength. Aiden Hutchinson is coming off a broken leg. A nasty-ass broken leg. Because that's the question. Micah Parsons or Aiden Hutchinson? But it's time for a little bit of buy. Or a little bit of sell. All right, guys, so it is time for buy or sell, and here's how it works. We're going to throw out a bold take or a question that is up to decide whether we're buying it or we're selling it. Buying it means you're in. You like the idea. You believe it, and it makes sense. Selling it means you're out. You don't like it, you're not convinced, and you're about shutting it down. So let's get into it, guys. A little bit of buy or a little bit of sell. All right, guys, so Sunday Night Football game is one of the most wildest games we've seen in a very, very long time. The Buffalo Bills pulled off the miracle comeback to beat the Baltimore Ravens 41-40. The Ravens had a 40-38 lead with a minute 33 left in the fourth quarter. Fourth and about 2 yards-ish on their own 38. The Buffalo Bills had no timeout, and John Harbaugh had the decision. Go for it and end the game, or punt it and trust the defense. He punted. Josh Allen drove the Bills 66 yards, and Matt Painter hit the game-winning field goal as time expired. So, guys, buy or sell. John Harbaugh made the right call by punting it away on fourth down. Guys, this one's tough. Because just earlier in the show, we all said blame coaching, blame coaching, blame coaching. This one coaching call, circle it right here because this is a make-or-break deal on the whole entire game. If you're buying the decision, here's the logic. I get it. You don't want to risk giving Josh Allen a short field. I get it. If you failed, he's already in field goal range. Even if you miss it by a half a yard, Buffalo still needs 10 yards to win the game. It's too risky. I get it. By punting it, you force Josh Allen to go 60-plus yards with no timeouts, less than 90 seconds on the clock. That's supposed to be tough to do. Harbaugh put a game on his defense, and the defense just hadn't played well enough instruction to justify the decision. This is not the 2000 Ravens defense. But if you sell this, the case is simple. You go for it. A first down in the game, period. Derrick Henry was averaging 9.44 yards a carry with 169 yards and 2 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson, even while cramping, still had 70 rushing total yards. Together, they combined for 239 rushing yards on 24 carries. You had 3 timeouts. You could have settled Lamar down, called your best play, and trusted your stats to get you less than 3 yards. Trusted your stars to get less than 3 stars, I should say. Instead, they punted away. They gave the ball back to Josh Allen, the reigning MVP, the best player in the NFL, and he was already having one of the greatest fourth quarters in NFL history. 251 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and eventually the game-winning drive. Allen has now had 11 game-winning drives since 2022, trailing Patrick Mahomes and Geno Smith. Giving the ball back was asking for trouble. And trouble is exactly what they got. Guys, I am selling this 100%. The Ravens flat out blew it. This is why you brought in Derrick Henry. This is why you paid Lamar Jackson to close out games. You don't pull Derrick Henry after the fumble. You don't punt it when the game is on the line. This has been the Baltimore Ravens' problems for years. Since 2019, they've lost 5 games when trailing by 10 points or more in the fourth quarter. That's tied for the most in the NFL. Until they fix this problem, the finishing problem, they're going to keep losing games like this, game year after year after year. Harbaugh is playing scared. He trusted his defense instead of trusting his Hall of Fame caliber backfield. And once again, the Ravens left the door open. Josh Allen walked right through it. But what do you guys think? Do you buy Harbaugh's decision to punt for it and trust the defense? Or do you sell it saying that he should have gone for it with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson to win the game right there? Guys, drop your comments down below. Alpha Rob said Jackson said he had cramps. I mean, let's just be honest. First week, everybody probably has cramps. You can never really train yourself for that first game. College level, NFL level, high school level, middle school level, you're going to get cramps the first game. That's just what it is. It is what it is. But the problem with me is you have Derrick freaking Henry. Arguably one of the most feared backs in the NFL. Arguably one of the biggest, fastest, and strongest backs in the NFL. He's not even on the field for one. Two, you don't give him the ball. And three, you have Lamar Jackson, arguably one of the most prolific quarterbacks in the NFL. Arguably. It's 4th and 3. Run a freaking RPO. Run an RPO. Fake it to Derrick Henry. Let Lamar Jackson keep it. If you can't do either or, pass it to Zay Flowers. It's not that hard. Hell, you have Mark Andrews. It's not that hard. I could have called that play for the Baltimore Ravens. Run an RPO. It's 4th and 2. It's 4th and 2. Go for it. James says, yes, sell and trust in either Lamar Jackson or Derrick Henry. That is facts. You have to trust your guys. You have to trust your guys to get you 2 yards. You have to. Come on. Come on. You have to. Jeez. Guys, week 1 gave us another classic AFC North slugfest between the Bengals and the Browns. The Cincinnati Bengals did come out on top 17-6. Thanks to some timely turnovers, and let's just be honest, a little bit of luck, a.k.a. the Browns kicker missing 3 field goals. But we digress. Guys, the buy or sell question of the day. Should we be excited about the Bengals defense after week 1? Guys, the Bengals defense held the Browns to 16 points. If you're buying this, you point out the scoreboard first. The Bengals just gave us 16 points in a divisional game on the road. That's a big step from where they were just a year ago, when this defense was one of the most criticized units in football. They forced 6 straight stops to end the game. Jordan Battle's interception set up the game-winning field goal. DJ Turner diving pick iced it, right? Trey Hendrickson led the pass rush that pressured Joe Flacco 17 times. That's not nothing. Cincinnati spent all offseason talking about getting off to a faster start and avoiding last year's 0-2 hole. And they did that. They played tough. They bent, but they didn't break. And they made plays when it mattered most. For a group that was embarrassed in 2024, this is huge progress. But on the flip side, if you're selling this, you have to look past the final score. The Bengals defense wasn't as dominant as the numbers makes it seem. Guys, the Cleveland went 11 for 19 on 3rd down and 4th downs. 11 for 19 on 3rd and 4th downs. They scored touchdowns on 2 of their 3 red zone trips. They held the ball for 37 minutes, keeping Joe Burrow and the offense on the sidelines. And the Bengals gifted them 4 first downs on penalties. That's not winning football against good teams. Even those huge interceptions, both are results of Brown receivers flat out dropping passes that bounced right into Cincinnati Bengals defenders' hands. Jerry Jeudy had a wide open curl route. The throw was low. It clanked off his hands and Battle picked it. The same thing with Cedric Tillman. The ball hit his fingertips, pops out, and Turner comes down with it. Those are fluky plays, not repeatable defense success. And let's not forget Smites. Cleveland's rookie kicker missed an extra point, a 36-yard chip shot, and that the next gen said he should have made 90% of the time. The kicker hits just one of those 3. We're talking about a completely different outcome. So yes, the Bengals got the win, but should we be excited about this defense, or are we just giving them credit for the Browns' mistakes? Guys, I'm selling this one. 100% selling it. Look, the Bengals defense was better than last year, no doubt about it. But let's just be real. They didn't exactly shut down an elite offense. The Browns are projected to be one of the worst football units in football, and they still control the time of possession. They moved the chains and put the Bengals on their heels drive after drive. If the standard is better than 2024, sure, week 1 check that box. But if the standard is being good enough to win a playoff game and carry Cincinnati deep into January, this wasn't it. The Bengals still have a lot to prove before we can start hyping up their defense. So let's put it on you guys. Buy or sell. Should the Bengals fans actually be excited about this defense? Was week 1 a real step forward or just smoke and mirrors created by Brown's mistakes? Guys, drop your takes down in the comments down below. Alpha Rob said, if the Browns had a decent kicker, they win. Facts. 157.2% facts. Will says, I think the Lions will start averaging 25 points per game this season. We're well past the Lions. Philly would have pushed towards victory. Yeah. Guys, Bengals defense is fool's gold as of right now. They're much improved. Don't get it twisted. Having Shamir Stewart and Trey Hendrickson on this field at the same time. Much improved. They're only going to get better. Let's just call a spade a spade. But it's time for a little bit of fact or a little bit of crap. All right, guys, we're starting to wind down the show, but we're not quite done quite yet. It's time for our final segment, fact or crap. Here's the deal. I'm going to throw out some segments that are facts that are floating around the NFL world, but it's up to decide if it's a solid fact or if it's a whole lot of brag. We're going to separate the truth from the nonsense, cut through the hype, and see what's really worth believing. If it's legit, we're all about it. If it's pure garbage, we're calling it out. So, guys, grab your popcorn because it's about to get real, because it's fact or it's crap. Let's find out. And let's go ahead and jump into today's first fact or crap today. And the big headline out of week 1 is Aaron Rodgers returned to MetLife Stadium and dropped 4 touchdown passes in the Steelers' 34-32 win over his old team, the New York Football Jets. This got people buzzing. This got Steelers Nation buzzing. Guys, is Aaron Rodgers back to his MVP level? Guys, let's break it down. Fact or crap? Is Aaron Rodgers back to his MVP form? Guys, if you are calling this fact, here's the argument. You have some valid points, right? Aaron Rodgers looked comfortable in the Arthur Smith's offense. He was accurate, he protected the football, and most importantly, he put points on the board. 4 touchdowns in your debut with a new team, that will grab headlines each and every time. He went 8 for 10 on play action for 71 yards and 3 touchdowns, which is a big shift for him. In Green Bay and New York, Rodgers wasn't always fond of play action, preferring to keep his eyes downfield. But Smith kept him in the shotgun, married the run game to it, and Rodgers executed. Bottom line, he didn't make the big mistakes. No interceptions. Effective passing gave the Pittsburghs what they needed to do to pull off a tough win. On the flip side, if you're calling it brag, if you're calling this crap, I'm potentially with you. Let's pump the brakes a little bit, right? Yes, Aaron Rodgers did throw for 4 touchdowns, yes, but let's look closer. One of those was basically a tap pass on a jet sweep to Jonnu Smith. Not exactly MVP level magic. Another came on a short field against the Jets' muffed kickoff. By total QBR, Aaron Rodgers, 63.2, ranked 12th in the league in week 1. That's not MVP level either. His receivers, led by DK Metcalf, did a lot of the heavy lifting. They averaged 7.8 yards after the catch per completion, the second most of any quarterback in the league. The receivers were making plays, not necessarily Rodgers throwing dimes. He did take 4 sacks and nearly threw a pick 6 to Brandon Stevens he hadn't slipped. And here's a big one. Rodgers didn't complete a single pass over 20 yards or more downfield. He dinked and dunked. He played within the system. That's not the Aaron Rodgers who's ripping defensive parts and winning the MVP. So what is my take? I'm calling crap on this one. I'm calling crap. Yes, Aaron Rodgers did look good. He looked very functional. He looked like a quarterback who can win a lot of games in this Pittsburgh Steelers system. But MVP level? No, not quite yet. He didn't take the shots down the field. He leaned heavily on his yards after catch, and his total QBR tells the whole story. Solid, but not elite. This version of Aaron Rodgers, he's efficient, smart, and mistakes free, and that's enough for the Pittsburgh Steelers to be competitive. But MVP Rodgers, this is a guy who can this guy could not single-handedly carry an offense. I didn't see that on Sunday, and I highly doubt we'll see it again for the rest of the season. But what do you guys think? Fact or crap? Is Aaron Rodgers back to his MVP level, or is this just a case of the box score stats making him look better than he actually was? AKA 2024 all over again. Will says fact. It's because he's on a better team now. So just because Aaron Rodgers is winning a couple ball games, just because Aaron Rodgers is nickel and diamond down the field, Will says Aaron Rodgers is an MVP, baby. Aaron Rodgers is the MVP. He is the most valuable player in the entire NFL. Not just on the team, but entire NFL. And Will, I like your enthusiasm. I like that you are hyping up a 41-year-old quarterback, 42-year-old quarterback. But the simple fact of the matter is the Pittsburgh Steelers got a great defense. Pittsburgh Steelers got a pretty damn good running game. They can nickel and dime. Aaron Rodgers is a game manager. That is his job in 2025, is to manage the game. A game manager is not going to win you a MVP. Alpha Rob says Rodgers can't escape the pocket anymore. He looks slow. He does. Ever since the Achilles, he's definitely lost a step, if not 2 steps. Personally, I think he should have just took time and rehabbed it and come back like a normal person. Not try to do it in like 3 months or whatever the hell it was, 4 months, something crazy, right? Like, I get it. Prove your haters wrong. Do this, yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, man, you got to be smart. You got to be smart. Now, for Rob saying is crap. Crap. James Straits, just a revenge game. But nah, crap, poop, shite. I'll probably eat my words, though. James, isn't that how it always is? We start dogging the 41-year-old veteran, and then all of a sudden he's going to rip off a 400-yard game, 500-yard game with 5 tutties. Watch it. And then we're all going to buy it in. We're going to buy it in. Then he's going to pull a Justin Fields and throw for 101 yards. That's just the way it is. James says Flacco is better than Aaron Rodgers. I'll take our old guy over Pittsburgh's any day. That's tough. Well, here in a couple weeks, guys, we're going to see 83 years old quarterbacks out there. Or 83 years worth of quarterbacks out there. It's crazy. And Will says, LOL, not an MVP, but he'll be better than last season. Well, Will, that was the question. Fact or crap? Is Aaron Rodgers back at his MVP level? And you said fact, brother. Don't be waffling now. Don't be going back and forth now, man. Stick on it. Stick on it. Put something on it. Put something on it, right? But let's move on to the next factor crap of the day. The Washington Commanders, guys, handled the New York Giants in week 1, winning 21-6 in a game where their defense dominated. Payne and Armstrong were wrecking that offensive line, pressuring Russell Wilson on nearly half of his dropbacks. But while the defense got all the headlines, the real question is, fact or crap, guys, is the Commanders' running game actually really, really good? Guys, if you're calling this fact, there is plenty of evidence to support the factual statement here. Washington averaged 0.2 EPA per design run. That was second best rate in the NFL on Sunday. And remember, that came against the Giants team with a defensive line loaded with talent. Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Thibodeau. Giants are sneakily pretty good. It wasn't just Jalen Daniels bailing them out of a scrambler either, although he was incredible convincing that second and long situations into first downs like they were nothing, but the design run game was diverse, creative, and effective. Rookie Jacoby Coskett-Merritt stole the show. 10 carries, 82 yards, a touchdown, and 4 runs of 10-plus yards. Even better, those chunks games came off of 5 different run concepts. That's a sign that this isn't just a one-trick pony stuff, right? This run game has variety. Coskett-Merritt looked explosive in the pistol and shotgun, filling into a role where Brian Robertson Jr. hasn't been as effective. And let's not forget Deebo Samuel, who ripped off 19-yard sweep touchdown. When you add him into the mix with Daniels, Merritt, Austin Eckler, and Robertson, you got some versatile backfield. Robertson's not there. I wrote that down. That's my bad. This was an offense that last year nearly was lived on fourth down conversion to extend drives on Sunday. They didn't tip a single one. That's a sign of a running game putting them into much better situations. On the flip side, if you're calling us crap, you pumping the brakes and say, slow it down, baby. One game doesn't mean Washington suddenly has a top-tier rushing attack. Yes, they did gash the Giants, but New York was missing Sam Cumming, their best interior lineman. That matters. And we've seen flashes before from Washington, right? Last season, Brian Robinson had big games. Austin Eckler had some big games. Even their gadget guys like Samuel can pop a playoff. The real test is consistency. Can the run game travel? Can it hold up against elite fronts like the Eagles and the Cowboys? The rookie did look great, but he's also a rookie. Defense will adjust once there's tape on him. We've seen plenty of young bats flash early and then level off. So, yeah, they looked really, really good in week one. But calling it really good after one game is a little premature. But I am calling this fact with an asterisk. Washington's running game looked legitimately impressive because it wasn't just a one player carrying the load. It was Daniel's mobility, Kroksky Merritt's explosive, Deebo Samuel's versatility, a solid blocking across the line. They ran a diverse scheme. They attacked the Giants in multiple ways, and they stayed efficient even when the backs, even when backed up with penalties. Do I think they had the best rushing attack in football? No, not at all. But this group that can sustain success all season will be given Jane Daniels the balance he needs to be a rookie as a second-year quarterback. But what do you guys think? Fact or crap? Is the Washington's running game really good, or just another flash against a 1 week flash against the New York Giants? I'm calling it fact. Alpha Rob is saying crap. Crap, says Alpha Rob. They're not that good. He says losing Brian Robinson Jr. is going to suck. They still have Austin Eckler. James says that kid Merritt is going to be nice. It is a fact. And I agree. He ran downhill, which is a lot different than what we're used to seeing, right? Run downhill, just get you yards. Will says crap, but this Thursday night game will be interesting because they're playing the Packers at Lambeau Field. 100% facts. This might be the most exciting Thursday night game that we've had in a very, very long time. Next Thursday, Commanders versus Packers. Well, this coming Thursday in 3 days or whatever it is, right? Very exciting. It's going to be telling of both teams, right? Are the Packers the real deal? Are the Commanders still great? A lot of happening, right? A lot of happening. James says, so you're losing your voice from coaching or yelling at the Chiefs? Both. So coaching is obviously very, very hard on my voice. I am walking into a culture where it's just, they have not won. So where I'm coaching at right now, they've had football since 2005 or 2006. They have never had more than 5 wins in a season. They played 9 games in a high school season plus a sectional game. So every team in like Indiana makes it into the playoffs. So you got 10 games you are guaranteed. And they've never won more than 5 in a season. So there's a lot of heart hate happening, right? A lot of stuff happening. But yes, my voice is going as of right now. But guys, that is going to be it for today's show. And at the end of the day, guys, every coach out there is trying their best, right? This isn't about pissing somebody off or a pissing contest. Who watches more film? Who spends less time with the kids? Who practically lives in the office? That's not what coaching is all about.